Okay, so in today's video, I'm super excited to talk about something that could potentially be coming. And it's kind of funny because most of the videos on this channel, I'm usually talking about things that are long gone and probably won't ever come back on this earth, but this animal is currently extinct. Some people believe it's actually currently not extinct, but um, most people believe it is currently extinct, but there is a very good chance that this animal will no longer be extinct. So I'm super excited to be talking about this animal. And this is the thylacine or Tasmanian tiger. Um, it goes by a couple names, but thylacine or Tasmanian tiger, or what most people call it. Um, I'll be calling it the thylacine. That's what I call it for the most part. And this is my first time talking about prehistoric mammals on this series, which I'm super excited to do because I'm a big prehistoric mammal fan. The La Brea tar pits are super cool to me. All that kind of stuff's super cool. Probably my favorite prehistoric mammal though is the one back here, the saber-toothed cat or Smilodon. But the Tasmanian tiger or thylacine does have a big place or a high spot on that list as well. Uh, And going back to what I was saying about this species potentially coming back, this is a new concept called de-extinction. This is the idea of bringing animals back that are extinct. Not, and this is not like as crazy as like Jurassic Park. These are animals like the thylacine uh, has been alive in the last 100 years. So that's why it's not as crazy as something like dinosaurs. This is way more possible than like cloning a T Rex, for example. And this would be so awesome if it does happen, and there is a good chance this does happen. And first, I'm going to quickly go over some thylacine general information. It is a marsupial. I know it does kind of look like a wolf. Um, has pretty much the same body plan. Probably filled a similar niche, being one of the top predators in its environment. And it also kind of looks like a tiger due to its stripes. And that's why it gets its two names, the Tasmanian tiger, because it's tiger-like stripes, and the Tasmanian wolf because it just looks like a wolf. Uh, and it did probably fill the apex predator niche of Australia till it went extinct. But the reason it went extinct. Oh, and I do want to show off this one other figure. This is the Andrewsarchus figure. This is just going over like the body plan of like that wolf build is not like crazy uncommon. And the Andrewsarchus is now believed not to have as much of a wolf-like build as it was during like the Walking with Beasts documentary, but uh, just showing that that body plan was not exclusive to the wolf. There was lots of animals that had that canine-like build. Hyenodon, hyenas, the Tasmanian tiger. Lots of animals had that body plan. That went extinct, but the wolf is the one most people think of because it's the one that's currently still alive. Uh, and why this animal went extinct, that's the unfortunate part, and that's why I think this animal definitely needs to be brought back. And it really has two believed reasons for its cause of extinction. Well, it has two believed reasons on the mainland Australia and really one in Tasmania. But in the mainland Australia, there were kind of two reasons. One is they believe it got out competed by dingoes, which were non-native species that humans brought in. So, and the two reasons are directly human related. And the other reason is because they were literally had a bounty on their head for hunters to kill them because they were worried that they would like kill livestock. And what's kind of ironic is the animals that now are the biggest threats to Australian livestock are dingoes and wild hogs, which are both species that people brought there. So it's kind of ironic that the animal they feared isn't the one that's causing them trouble anymore. Well, I guess that isn't ironic, but it's ironic that the ones that are causing them trouble now are the ones that they brought there. Uh, but in Tasmania itself, where there are no dingoes, the only cause is directly human related. So, and dingoes probably could have coexisted with Tasmanian tigers, but we don't really know as perfectly as we would like to because it was people's fault that they aren't alive anymore. Uh, And that's exactly why I think this animal needs to be brought back. For one, we're the direct cause of it being extinct, so I think people have like a duty almost to bring it back. And I believe pretty much any animal that we are the direct cause of it being extinct, but the thylacine for sure, because we are 100% the cause for it becoming extinct. And also, this animal is needed in its environment because certain marsupials, which were the direct prey of the thylacine, have overpopulated and are dying due to disease because there's no control predator to stabilize their populations, especially in Tasmania, because there's no top predator in Tasmania, which the Tasmanian tiger filled that niche. But in Australia, the dingo's kind of replaced its niche, but it's still needed in Australia. But the dingo has kind of replaced its niche, but in Tasmania, there's nothing that's replaced it, really. So it is definitely needed in Tasmania. And the company Ecological this is the really awesome part. So that's why it went extinct and why I think it needs to come back extinct, but this is why there's a chance it's actually going to be brought back. The company Ecological has raised already $5 million to bring back the thylacine. And this is the same company that could bring back the woolly mammoth using gene editing to bring back this amazing animal. I actually did do a little bit of gene editing myself last year in an AP biology class. It was actually very fun and interesting. But the animal that's believed to be the missing piece that's allowing the thylacine to possibly come back, is an animal called the fat-tailed denard. It's a marsupial, but it's a super small one. It looks almost like a rodent, but it's a marsupial. And it is currently believed the closest living relative of the thylacine. It was thought to be something else, but now it's been realized that it was the denard. So now they believe they put the missing piece to be able to potentially bring it back. And like I said, I'm very pro this animal being brought back because we're the direct cause of it being extinct. And I might actually make this a controversial cases video on whether or not I think we should bring back certain extinct animals. And for the most part, I'll probably argue pro. Definitely in any case that it's an animal we caused the extinction of and its niche hasn't been filled by something else. But I don't think I'm going to argue as much for like dinosaurs being brought back. Obviously, that would be awesome and cool and everything, but and maybe something for like just zoos or something. But as far as like releasing them into the wild, no. But the thylacine, yes, needs to be brought back into the wild. Here's a mammoth just to go with the possible it being brought back. And obviously, there is a chance this could go wrong, but I believe it will go right due to the advances in technology and just the fact that how many people want this animal to be brought back and the fact that it's needed. And if it goes well, myself and anyone watching this video will potentially get to see a thylacine during our lifetimes, which is an awesome, awesome thing to think about. And I could not talk about this video without talking about Forrest Galante. If you don't know who that is, he's a guy that's been on Animal Planet and Discovery, all those types of channels, pretty much any animal type channel you can watch on TV. And I really liked what I've seen of him, especially on the show Extinct or Alive. If you haven't seen it, it's a show where he goes and looks for potentially extinct animals. And he actually has found some animals on the channel that were thought to be extinct. I believe one was a tortoise. And there was one species of leopard or subspecies. But he has actually found some animals, and he did do one looking for the thylacine. And I believe he was actually going to go on another one, but I think the show ended up getting cut for some reason, but he is on some other show now, I believe, on Animal Planet or Discovery. But he also has a podcast, and he's a very good like Instagram influencer. He gets on there and posts stuff about this. That's actually how I found out about this whole de-extinction of the thylacine, was from his Instagram. And this is possibly the first video in a series about de-extinction. Two other animals that could possibly be in this series are the quagga, which was kind of brought back, but depending on how this video does, that'll probably be the next video, and I'll go over how it kind of got brought back. I actually need to do a little bit more research on that to be sure about it being kind of brought back, or if it was just like looking like it got brought back. And then the mammoth, which Colossal is possibly bringing back. And like I said, this series, I'm not for sure if it's actually going to become a series. It might just become like a little bit of controversial cases or something, but I wouldn't care at all to make this a series if this video does well. And now I'm going to kind of do this little thing. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, this is this little bit at the end where I go over each of the figures in the video and like how you can get the figures. These three are from the Groovy Tube books, Gone Extinct Tube. You can actually, I think, still find this on eBay pretty easily. It's like a Groovy Tube book, if you don't know. It's like this set of like a tube, almost like a Safari Limited tube with like animal figures. and it's a board game that the animals are like playing pieces in, and they're usually like a version of a game like chess or something like that. Um, I don't know about chess specifically, but like battleships I know is one. Um, and sometimes they're just like a completely different game, but sometimes they're like a copy of another game. But it's a fun game usually. Um, and the Tasmanian tiger, the quagga, and the woolly mammoth are all from that. And then the rest of the figures in this video are from Safari Limited. This is a Safari Limited tube tiger. I believe you can get that in a couple different tubes, like the big cats tube. I believe that's the figure in, and in like the whatever they're just common like animal tube is, like wild or zoo, something like that. I'm sure. This is the Smilodon or saber-toothed cat in the prehistoric world or something. It's the set with the prehistoric mammals, and then this Andrewsarchus is also in that Safari Limited tube, and then this wolf is in like this. I can't remember what the tube name is, but it's the one that's like the North American wildlife. Um, and this video was super fun to make, and I really hope that this ends up getting done because it is such an awesome animal that I believe we have a duty as humans, being the direct cause of it, to bring back. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I had a ton of fun talking about it, and hopefully this animal does come back and we get to see it during our lifetimes.